Whenever we're asked to place a sentence or move a sentence throughout a paragraph, we really need to find something to latch onto that's going to make that easier. If we just try to read this paragraph 4 different ways with the sentence in different places, our brain's not going to handle it. Too much information. Narrow your focus to smaller ideas and you'll understand when the connections are real. So in this case, this anchor word that jumps out to me is the word today. This is very clearly some sort of transition. We're talking about time periods. It's important that I've now switched over to the present. So if I'm reading the paragraph now, I'm reading and I'm looking, where does that switch make sense? So it kind of starts out really good, right? Maybe we should put this after sentence 1 because it says 50 years, and so maybe that's where it goes, is 50 years ago this is what happened, now today this is what other thing is happening. But we have to make sure that when we put a sentence somewhere, we don't break up other sentences that belong together. So if we look at sentence 2, improvements in radar technology have made it possible to identify storms that are likely to produce tornadoes. We're still talking about the past. Continuing, local news that broad stations then broadcast tornado warnings so that people in affected areas can stay alert. In the 1970s, the National Weather Service began a program, blah, blah, blah. And then today, a new generation of volunteers, right? So we are shifting from what happened in the 70s and the volunteers back then. So that's another anchor word that I didn't even notice until now I've read that sentence, but now I have proof that after sentence 4 is the way to go. It's definitely the best place for it, and I didn't jump to a conclusion just by kind of seeing that 1950s or the 50 years in the beginning, right? So find some anchor words that make this kind of placement easier for you, but also be flexible. Read all the answer choices, go all the way through, and make sure when you're placing it, you're not breaking up other ideas that need to stick together. That's a very common trap, and it's easy to avoid if you know to look for it.